Hello everyone, this is JR from Unstressed Life, and today I'm going to be talking about ways to lower your blood pressure naturally. If you're like me and you have concerns about high blood pressure, or if you're currently suffering from high blood pressure, perhaps some of these tips can help you. But first I want to give a few facts about what actually high blood pressure is. So normal blood pressure is when you take your blood pressure and it's 120/80 or below. If you look at pre-hypertension, if you're concerned about that, that's when your blood pressure is above 120 but below 139/80 to 89. Anything that's 140 or higher, that's stage 1 hypertension, and when your number gets to 160 or higher, that's stage 2 hypertension, and there's when you can really get into some trouble. So now that we know what the ranges are, there's several risks that come from having high blood pressure. 7 out of 10 people that have their first heart attack have high blood pressure. Also 8 out of 10 people that have their first stroke have high blood pressure. And it's also a significant risk factor for developing kidney disease. So this really isn't something you want to let go unchecked. And you'll also hear high blood pressure referred to as the silent killer. So you should definitely talk to your doctor if you have concerns. And that's really going to be my first tip here is, consult with your doctor before you try any of these. If you're concerned, if you have issues, it's best to talk with your doctor first. I know for myself personally, at one point I was even diagnosed with something called white coat hypertension, which is when your blood pressure goes up, when you go to get it checked at the doctor, and you can really get into a vicious cycle. I know I did. I would get really stressed out before I would get my blood pressure taken, which of course would make it go up. And then when I get my reading, it would be high. And so it kind of just created this vicious cycle that was really hard for me to get out of. But, if you're worried about having white coat hypertension or you actually have high blood pressure, please first go talk with your doctor before trying any of these. So the first thing I want to talk about that can really help you lower your blood pressure is you need to cut down on the salt. I like salt. I'm sure a lot of people out there do as well, but there have been studies that have linked high sodium to an increased risk of high blood pressure. So the thing I would recommend is understand what your baseline is. Get your blood pressure readings very frequently, and cut down on the salt and see if that improves your reading. You might find that just cutting down on the salt actually helps lower your blood pressure. The second one is get out there and exercise. And I found this one to be the most effective for me in lowering my blood pressure. So, get out, start trying to increase your cardio. Just getting moderate exercise, every other day or so can really make a difference. If you would just get 30 minutes in a day, you can start to really see some impacts in lowering your blood pressure. Myself personally, I do a Stairmaster at the gym, and I found that to really increase my cardio, and consequently, as a result, I've seen my blood pressure go down quite a bit as well, well into normal ranges. So if you don't exercise, or it's very rare that you get into the gym or go for a walk, really try that to see if that can help you get a better reading. One thing I will say is, there's really not like a magic pill here or anything that we're going to be talking about in any of these tips. It takes a little bit of hard work, a little bit of focus and discipline, but it's definitely worth trying, if you're trying to avoid, getting put on medications, which I know personally for myself, I really didn't want to have to go on to a medication that I'd need to take for the rest of my life, if I could avoid it. Just really didn't want to have to deal with those side effects and just all the issues dealing with, having a pre-existing condition like that. So if I could avoid it, I tried my best to try some of these tips, and, I recommend them to you. And so the next one is losing weight. Now that's easy to say, harder to do, but it really kind of fits in with the tip around exercising. And if you lose just 10 pounds, you can find that you can actually lose, you can lower your blood pressure by essentially 8 to 10 units, if you just take off, some pounds based on some recent research. And I know myself personally, I used to weigh about 230. I'm now down to about 205. And I really believe that the increased exercise and taking off some of the weight, really helped me get my readings back to normal. Now I want to talk a little bit about supplements. And again, I want to say consult with your doctor, but I found these supplements to be very helpful in helping lower my blood pressure. And the first one is passion flower. And I like this one for a number of reasons, not just for its ability to help lower blood pressure that I found, but also to really help with anxiety. I know for myself, I have some heightened levels of anxiety throughout the day, especially in the morning or if I have a big meeting or something like that. And I found passion flower to be a way to help take the edge off. It doesn't make me drowsy. And I have found that if I take my blood pressure after, about an hour after taking it, I find that it's well within the normal ranges. So passion flower is something that I highly recommend. The next one is holy basil, which I've also found to have a very nice calming effect, especially if you're stressed or you're just having a lot of anxiety. And as a side effect of this, it has been shown to help lower blood pressure in some individuals. And so I would suggest giving that one a try. And then finally, there's fish oil, or also known as omega-3, which has in some studies also been shown to help lower blood pressure. It's not completely understood why it lowers blood pressure, but the theory is that it comes from some of its anticoagulant and anti-inflammatory properties. So I would say, try these. Probably don't try them all at once. Take one, see if it has an effect on you, see how you feel after a few days, and then maybe try, the others. But, take your time, be patient, and like I said, always consult with your doctor. Now, the next thing where I've seen quite a few studies on helping lower blood pressure naturally is consuming garlic. And I didn't put this in the supplement section because what's recommended for this to really be effective is that you actually need to eat the garlic. If you take it in supplement form or you cook it, it really kills the properties. It's a property called allicin, which is an enzyme that that its research indicates or suggests that that's the enzyme that helps lower blood pressure. So the best way to do this is to actually consume raw garlic. Now I know what you're thinking, raw garlic, can really cause bad breath and body odor. So I would recommend, if you're going to try this one, to just slice up a clove or two and put it in your salad, at home for dinner. Not at lunch where you're going to have to be around your coworkers, but, try it at night. And again, your mileage may vary with this one, but it's probably worth a shot if you are trying to avoid going on to a prescription medicine. Now, another thing that can increase your blood pressure is drinking alcohol. So you'd really want to consider drinking less if you're a moderate or heavy drinker. So if you're a man, look to limit your alcohol intake to 2 drinks a day, and if you're a woman, to 1 drink a day. And a drink is equal to 12 ounces of beer, 4 ounces of wine, or 1.5 ounces of 80 proof liquor. So I say that because it's easy. You could think that, hey, if you pour a tall glass of beer or a tall glass of wine, that's 1 drink, but that could actually end up being 3 drinks or even 4 drinks based on that measurement. So look to cut down on your alcohol and see if that has an effect on lowering your blood pressure. The next one is, this one's a little controversial and debated, but look to cut down on your caffeine. And so I think one way of doing this again is to know what your blood pressure is, and if you're a coffee drinker, stop or pull back a bit. And if you drink, say, 2 cups, drink 1, and if you drink 3, drink 2, and just see if there's any impact on your blood pressure. Since there are some mixed studies here, some say that this really doesn't have an impact unless you are caffeine sensitive. So I would just recommend trying it and seeing if you get the desired results in lowering your blood pressure. This one is a no-brainer. If you're looking to lower your blood pressure, you need to stop smoking. So nicotine has been proven to increase your blood pressure by narrowing your arteries and hardening them as well. And it's a really bad habit. So again, I know it's easier said than done, but if you're serious about your health and serious about lowering your blood pressure without going on to medications, do yourself a huge favor and stop smoking. There's a lot of resources out there to help. Maybe try going to smokefree.gov for some tips along how you could do that, and as well as some advice and additional resources. But yeah, that's one thing I would say to do is stop smoking if you're trying to lower your blood pressure. And this one is important. And what I would say here is, just relax. Sounds easy, but if you're like me, you can get stressed out at times, you can get high anxiety, which definitely can lead to increasing your blood pressure. So just learn to let go, relax, meditate, just sometimes close your eyes and just be in the moment. And don't worry about the past or concern yourself with the future. And this also, which some people call this mindfulness or any other terms, but this can really help over time lower your blood pressure, just because you're not worried about so many things and you're just taking life as it comes at you. And this, for me personally, is an area that I still really need to work on. I definitely don't have this mastered, but this is something that I strive for and try every day. So with that, I hope you found some of these tips helpful. As always, we'd really appreciate it if you found these tips helpful, to subscribe to our YouTube channel below at Unstressed Life, and check out our website, unstressedlife.com. We will be posting more tips like this, so if you like these, please put them, give us some feedback in the comments below. Let us know what you think. Again, that's unstressedlife.com, and you can check us out on Facebook as well. Well, hey, thanks, and hope you found these tips helpful.